Well, the gun industry is about to get a massive shakeup, and today I'm going to tell you how Trump's tariffs are going to affect the gun industry. And it's actually not only his tariffs, but something else that he's doing that's going to affect the gun industry. And I not only want to tell you some of the things that you should be prepared for, but also in your own preparation. Some of the items that are going to be affected the most when it comes to guns and the things that are involved with the gun industry. And so maybe aside from informing you, I can also help to prepare you. If there's things you know that you need and we know these things are going to go up, then maybe you can actually kind of change some of the priorities. And again, I'm just going to share my opinion with you. And of course, I want to hear yours. No matter if you agree or disagree, let me know what you think down below. Let's go and jump right in. Now, for me to pretend like I'm some kind of economist is an absolute joke. But just to give you an idea of what I believe Trump's long-term plan is with the tariffs, and I think everybody kind of knows this, is, increasing American manufacturing, bringing more jobs and companies here. So where we know that we can get a bunch of stuff from other countries and it's cheaper and they can sell it cheap in the United States because of cheap labor over there, we get it cheap here. Now the whole idea is that, well, those costs of those goods is actually going to be maybe higher than American-made products if American-made products don't try to raise their prices to kind of counter the stuff that's coming in, but that's besides the point. So again, the whole point is kind of increase American manufacturing, get more people that are working with these really good jobs, and get more people to buy American. Right? It's kind of a way to protect our own interests. And while you may agree or disagree with that, it is refreshing to hear a president actually looking to protect the interests of Americans. Now, it's going to affect us on a level, but how long and what is actually the long-term goal of this, I think, is something we should definitely be looking at. So short term, you're going to hear people freaking out. Oh my God, it's the end of the world and recession, Great Depression #2, it's all coming. We told you so, that kind of stuff. But when you take a step back, even looking at Trump's tariffs the first time, some of this stuff actually ended up working out for us. And the things you hear other countries saying, because the United States is such a huge importer, are not necessarily all of the things that are going to happen. So talking tough and their actions may be two completely different things. We've been taken advantage of for a really long time as well. I talked about this in a motorcycle video not too long ago, how India charged us 100% tariffs on their motorcycles coming into the US. Then they dropped it to 50% in Trump's first term. Now they're looking to preemptively drop it even more because of the renewed tariffs. That's just one example. And so while that's a very basic look at what these tariffs are designed to do, the fact is, if everything stays as it's going to, which again, I think things are going to change when you look at some of these numbers, but let's just assume they are, things that come into the country, like steel and aluminum, are going to affect the price. That's just on the firearm side, because we have some other things we need to talk about. But American manufacturers that get steel within the United States, you may not see that much of a hike. Now, I know, in the car world, you'll have car parts that are manufactured in certain areas, then they go to Canada, then they go to Mexico, then they come back to the US, and then they go to Detroit to be put together. Whereas American manufacturers, gun manufacturers, the whole process is done right there. Smith & Wesson is a great example, where they may source some parts, but everything is put together right there in the factory. Ruger, 6 Hour, all of these great American companies. So are we going to see a price on American-made guns? Maybe, but I don't think it's going to be as much as you will see some foreign-made firearms, for instance. So, of course, Glock has a factory here, FN, but any of those parts and stuff that come from Belgium and Austria, Czech Republic with CZ, even Brazil, right, for Taurus, H&K out of Germany, those things which are already typically higher priced, you're going to see probably more of an increase on those for sure. Turkey, of course, so your Springfield Armories, your Canics, things like that will be affected too. Now, stuff coming out of Europe, of course, you're looking at well, they're kind of coming up with numbers, but we're looking at imposing 20%. So if it's reciprocal, you can kind of do some rough math and get an idea of how much this stuff will potentially go up. The other thing is ammo though, right? So you have companies like PMC, PPU, you have Wolf, you have Cellier and Bellet, SMB. You have quite a few manufacturers that are in other countries that, of course, those are going to be affected as well. So the Truth About Guns actually did a fantastic article, and they were talking with SG Ammo, and SG Ammo is saying that, PMC in South Korea, if they have a 25% tariff, that will essentially add about $100 to 1,000 rounds of 5.56 through that company, Cellier and Bellet. I love this stuff. That's going to increase $40 per 1,000 rounds of 9. So you're not going to see COVID pricing, I don't think. I don't believe we'll get close to that, but you will see an increase in some of these manufacturers that are overseas, of course. Now, the unknown is American manufacturing, of course, should increase, and more people will start buying that. At least that's the goal of it. Will they increase their prices again, though, to kind of match with what foreign ammo companies are going to do? Well, hopefully not, right? Especially if their materials aren't really increasing, but that's yet to be unseen. So maybe your priorities change here, but 7.62x39, 5.56, even 9mm will all be affected. 7.62x39 is kind of tough right now, at least in my area, to get. And so it's not a panic situation. That's the last thing I want you to get from this video, but it's reprioritizing. Okay, maybe I need to buy some of this first before I buy that 9x18 Makarov that I don't really shoot that often. That's the idea. Panic buying and stuff, it hurts everybody except for the manufacturers, and even kind of puts a strain on them as well. But at the end of the day, you're just hurting other gun owners. So not panicking is the best advice I can give you here, but just reprioritizing. The other thing to look out for is going to be optics. So, of course, Holosun is one of the biggest. You have so many Chinese manufacturers. If I just think Sight Marks, and there's a lot of them, okay? And these are the companies that a lot of us, including myself, especially with Holosun, we gravitate towards, because every single pistol and every single rifle needs something on it. Almost every pistol now needs some kind of a dot on it, and they are so beneficial. And so you save a couple $100 at least, right? Even though Holosun's gone up, but you still save a lot of money compared to something like a Trijicon or a Steiner or whatever. But even though I love Trijicon, their stuff is fantastic, and I'm more of a believer in their stuff now more than ever, honestly. It's going to hurt you there too. But hopefully, by the time this is all said and done, American manufacturing, and a lot of these manufacturers, like even the ones that have operations here, like Glock and FN, Springfield Armory maybe. A lot of these companies can start making more guns in the United States. That'd be fantastic. Have all Springfield manufacturing right back here at home. And hopefully more and more companies will actually do that and kind of even the playing field. The other effect that you're going to see that Trump is going to have on the gun industry is the fact that he is in office. So a lot of people are kind of like, whew, no more gun control. This is not the right approach, right? You have to keep everybody accountable when you put them in those positions. But the Trump slump is a real thing, and manufacturers are already saying after this first quarter, it's like, oh, here we go again. Personally, I'd rather have it like that than have a bunch of panic buying and all of that kind of stuff. But supporting your choice of whatever companies you like, that's a good thing that we're gonna have to do. But I think we're all gonna, for lack of better terms, bite the bullet here a little bit. But what I don't want to see is people priced out of their right, because buying American is great. And I love a lot of American companies, right? And I think the long-term goal could be really fantastic for all Americans. And I hope it is. I pray it is, right? That's what we're all hoping for, is that you have a short-term inconvenience for long-term and decades worth of gains, right? That's the goal. But there still needs to be those budget options in place. If they go up 10 or 20 bucks, right, for a pistol or whatever, just like Taurus, you may see a spike again in Taurus, right? Because they're going to be affected about 10%. So if you see those minimal kind of increases where people can still afford it, great. We just have to make sure, and really, those options still need to be available. Right, so people aren't priced out of their rights. People are priced out of motorcycles right now. That's one thing, right? And that's something I am concerned with on that side, but I'm more concerned with people being priced out of their Second Amendment rights and being able to utilize that. So we're going to have to see which way this falls. But again, I'm optimistic that this will work out. But of course, I want to hear your opinion. Whether you agree or disagree, let me know what you think down below. If you like what I do, consider subscribing. See you in the next one. And as always, hold it down.